Have you ever wondered how much food you waste every week? Is it more than you think? Picture a mountain of food, not in a grocery store but as waste. It's a global issue, and it starts right in our kitchens. The impact on our planet and our wallets is more than we realize. But there's good news. We can turn things around, making a difference without turning our lives upside down. Let's dive into some easy-to-follow tips to reduce food waste right in your kitchen. Tip number 1, plan your meals. Now that might sound like something your grandmother would say, but trust us, it's a game changer. So, what's meal planning? Well, it's exactly what it sounds like. You're planning your meals in advance. It could be for the week or just a few days ahead, depending on what works for you. It helps you know exactly what you need to buy, which means you're less likely to overbuy and end up with food waste. Plus, it saves you from that daily stress of figuring out what to cook. Imagine a Sunday evening you sit down and jot down all the meals you'd like to have for the week. You look at what you already have in your pantry and refrigerator, and then you make a list of what you need. You're being proactive, not reactive. But there's more to it than just reducing food waste. Meal planning can also save you time and money. You're not making those last-minute dashes to the grocery store or resorting to pricey takeouts because you're out of ideas or ingredients. And when you plan your meals, you can also plan to use leftovers in creative ways, which we'll talk about in the next scene. So, planning your meals can be a game changer to reduce food waste and save money, and remember, it doesn't have to be rigid, it's your plan, so make it work for you. Scene script. Tip number 2, be a smart shopper. Now let's shift our focus to shopping, a crucial part of our culinary journey. We all love the sight of a well-stocked pantry, but it's essential to remember that more is not always better. In fact, buying only what you need is a golden rule for reducing food waste. It's a simple principle. If you don't buy it, you can't waste it. So how do you shop smartly? Start by making a list. This helps you focus on what you need, and it's a great shield against impulse buying. We've all been there, haven't we? Those bright, shiny, discounted packets of snacks beckoning to us from the store shelves. Resist the temptation, folks. Stick to your list, because impulse buying often leads to wastage. Now let's talk about shelf life. While fresh produce is great, it's also perishable. So consider incorporating products with longer shelf lives into your meals. You could opt for dried pasta over fresh canned beans, or even frozen fruits and veggies. They're just as nutritious, and they won't spoil if you don't use them right away. In essence, smart shopping is a balancing act. It's about knowing what you need, resisting the lure of unnecessary purchases, and choosing products that won't spoil before you get a chance to use them. Remember, smart shopping is about buying just what you need and avoiding unnecessary purchases. Scene script. Tip number 3, get creative with leftovers. We've all been there. You've made a fantastic meal, but now you're stuck with leftovers that seem a little less exciting the next day. But wait, let's flip the script. Leftovers aren't a burden, they're an opportunity. An opportunity to flex your culinary muscles and turn something old into something new and exciting. Let's take last night's roast chicken, for instance. Sure, you could reheat it and have the same meal twice, but why not transform it into a delicious chicken salad instead? Or how about those mashed potatoes? They could easily become the base for a comforting shepherd's pie. And it's not just about creating a different meal. You can also use leftovers to add a little extra something to your dishes. That half-used jar of salsa in your fridge? It can add a zesty kick to your morning scrambled eggs. The remaining wine from your last dinner party? It can become a rich base for a savory risotto. The key here is to think outside the box. Your fridge is not a graveyard of forgotten meals, but a treasure trove of ingredients waiting to be rediscovered. It's all about perspective and a little bit of creativity. Remember, food is not waste until we waste it. So let's make the most of what we have and turn those leftovers into something extraordinary. So leftovers aren't just for reheating, they can be the star of a whole new dish. Scene script. Tip number 4, store food properly. Now let's talk about the importance of proper storage. Storing your food correctly can significantly extend its life, which in turn helps to minimize food waste. It's a little like playing Tetris in your fridge and pantry, only this game can save you money and reduce your carbon footprint. For example, did you know that potatoes, onions, and garlic prefer cool, dark, and ventilated spaces? Storing these in a cardboard box in your pantry can help them stay fresh for longer. And what about those leafy greens? To keep them crisp and fresh, try wrapping them in a damp paper towel before placing them in a reusable container in the fridge. This extra step will give your greens a few more days of life. Now let's move on to fruits. Many fruits like apples, bananas, and tomatoes produce a gas called ethylene that speeds up ripening, so it's best to store these separately from other fruits and vegetables to prevent them from ripening too quickly. And don't forget about your herbs. Storing them upright in a glass of water in the fridge can help them stay fresh and vibrant for longer. Think of them as little bouquets of flavor, ready to spice up your meals. Remember, each type of food has its preferred storage method. A little bit of knowledge and organization can go a long way in extending the life of your food. Proper storage not only keeps your food fresh longer, but also helps to reduce waste. Tip number 5. Consider composting. It's a natural process that transforms your kitchen scraps into nutrient-rich soil. Think of it as nature's recycling program. By composting, you're not just reducing food waste, but you're also enriching your garden, and in turn, nurturing the earth. It's not complicated, and it's definitely worth the effort. So why not delve in deeper? Do a bit of research and make composting a part of your zero-waste journey. Composting is a simple yet effective way to reduce food waste and give back to the earth. So, are you ready to make a change and reduce food waste? Let's recap. We've covered meal planning, smart shopping, getting creative with leftovers, proper storage, and finally composting. Each of these steps not only helps to minimize waste but also to maximize your grocery budget. It's a win-win for both your wallet and our planet. Reducing food waste doesn't just make sense, it's the responsible thing to do. Remember, every little step counts towards a zero-waste kitchen and a healthier planet.